This is a stimulus check and stimulus package update for May 20th. Thanks. This is LALATE. Thanks for tuning in. As always, like and subscribe to this channel and drop your comments below, and we may feature them in tomorrow's recording. Let's get right to the news. Lots of you have been asking about when you're offered to return to work, can you decline that job? Or under the CARES Act, under the original stimulus package, would your benefits be cut off? It's really a fascinating issue that came to head today when Steve Mnuchin was asked this very question and gave an answer, but several analysts thereafter said that his answer was incorrect. So let's get right to it. As you may have been watching videos in recent days on LALATE's channel about PUA or UI, and you may be on PUI or UI, you might be coming to a head in which you're offered by your employer the opportunity to go back to work, or you may be an independent contractor under PUA and you're starting to restart work. So do you qualify for benefits at that time? So here we go. The Treasury Secretary was asked whether workers who, and this is now employees, who are offered the opportunity to return to work and refuse that job offer, if they still can get benefits under the original stimulus package, the CARES Act. He said, quote, if the business offers back a worker and they don't take the job, they will be required to notify the local unemployment insurance agency because that person will no longer be eligible for unemployment. He said that before the Senate Banking Committee. However, that answer is not exactly correct. Let's go into this. The CARES Act, which was a $2.2 trillion coronavirus relief package, provided benefits for COVID-19 people for whether they lost their work in an employment situation or an independent contractor situation. In the case of saying, no, thank you, I don't want to return back to work to an employer, what happens to that employee? Well, Betsy Stevenson, a public policy and economics professor at the University of Michigan, said if you are called to work and are offered a job, you can't say no thank you. But the CARES Act puts in some caveats. So here we go. Senator Mnuchin was not exactly correct. Let me back up. Senator Mnuchin, and clearly it may have been a problem of the question offered to the Treasury Secretary, said that if your employer, and this is a case of UI benefits, if an employer says you can come back to work, your job is now available, Secretary Mnuchin said you can, if you decline, you can no longer get benefits under UI and the CARES Act, stimulus package number 1. Not exactly true. There are certain situations in which you still can get benefits, and let me go over them with you. If the primary caregiver is unable to work because of a child's school closure prevents them from working, you can decline employment and still get benefits. If an individual or family member has been diagnosed with COVID-19, you can decline reemployment and still get benefits. If an individual is providing care for a family member who's been diagnosed with COVID-19, you can still decline reemployment and get benefits. Or if a person is unable to reach a place of employment because of a healthcare provider has advised self-quarantine, you can decline reemployment and still get benefits. These are the caveats that are addressed by Betsy Stevenson yesterday and today's interviews. These are qualifying circumstances outlined in the CARES Act that details that, and I will add that these also apply for PUA, for independent contractors, that even if you are able to go back to work because of a job opportunity is there, whether you're an employee or an independent contractor, you may still qualify for benefits under those caveats. And basically they are when you're taking care of someone that has COVID-19 in your home, or you have COVID-19 in your home, or you can't get to your place of work. And if you remember this language, it appeared in the original CARES Act. As LA has been detailing for you, when you applied for PUA, you may have applied under certain qualifying factors. And this is interesting though, Betsy Stevenson does not detail if your original PUA or UI application was based upon these caveats, that you have to stay within these caveats. Some of you may have, and let me explain what I mean, some of you may have applied for PUA or UI under the last one, which is as an independent, well, actually only PUA, that you applied because you were unable to work in a full capacity or partial capacity due to COVID-19. Okay, so what if you click that one, but now since then, one of your family members has gotten sick from COVID-19, you have to take care of them in your household. She doesn't address that, but it appears to be the case that was the intent of the CARES Act, that even if you qualify for one, you still can qualify for the other. So really quite interesting. CNBC asked the Treasury Secretary for comment. He refused to give comment about it. So Stevenson went on to say, I think states enforce things differently. So I think you might see some variability in this point, which is quite interesting. She warns that some states may apply PUA or UI benefits under the CARES Act slightly different in these unusual circumstances. As we've been detailing on this channel, the CARES Act provides $600 a week on top of your weekly UI or PUA benefits for a prescribed period that starts from March to approximately July, based upon the weeks that you certify for benefits and based upon your initial date of impact. Republican lawmakers in recent days have said that the CARES Act creates a welfare state. The Senate Democrats and House Democrats want to extend the CARES Act to provide $600 of benefits from the federal government into January 2021. Republicans don't want that. The interesting thing is what happens with Paycheck Protection Program, and LALATE has been detailing that extensively. That requires you as an independent contractor to get back to work and start paying your employees or your independent contractors and get those bills into your lender by mid-June to get loan forgiveness. If you don't, then how does that run afoul? A lot of interesting questions, but as Steve Mnuchin says, benefits are completely denied if you refuse to go back to work. Not exactly correct. It's a little bit more complex than that. Drop your comments below. What do you think? As always, stay of LA for more.